Hello friends, welcome to Dots of Destiny. Today's video is about the debilitation of Venus in Virgo. Venus is reaching the sign of Virgo by 9th of this month and October, and it will be there till the 2nd of November. So there is nearly 1 month of debilitation, and then Venus goes into its smooth trikon Libra, which will be a very great transit, I suppose, because at that time it will be aspected by Rahu also. In debilitation, till now, Venus had been in conjunction with Ketu in Leo, and Ketu and Venus does not go very well because the finer qualities of Venus are quite marred by Ketu in Leo. This is how this transit had been for the last few weeks. Now Venus goes into its friend sign Virgo. Mercury is in Libra. But this Venus is in debilitation and aspected by Saturn. Saturn, when it aspects Venus, yes, materialistically it can give you certain boosts, it will give you boosts. But Saturn being Saturn, certain, what happens that when we expect something from a planet, and then when Saturn aspects that planet, a little bit of it is trimmed down. That there lies the problem, because Saturn gives but does not fulfills to that brim of expectation. Though Venus in Virgo is a good placement for monetary benefits, because Virgo is a earthy sign, and earthy signs like Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, they are materialistically good signs. And materialistically Venus does great over here. I mean, it's good if not great. I have seen that. Materialistically, money wise, Taurus, obviously its own sign. Virgo, Capricorn is also good for Venus, though if you go for the marriage part of it, the relationship part of it, yes, definitely Venus is not very obviously not conducive in Virgo and in Capricorn both, because understand that Virgo is the sixth house, Rogrin Shatru. So fine quality planet like Venus loses its sheen. The things that Venus is known for, it takes a toss in Virgo. Capricorn is also like that, because 10th house Venus is good. I have seen Capricorn Venus in the 10th house or any running dasha. They do good materialistically, they earn money, no problem with that, because Capricorn Venus is a yoga karak planet for a Capricorn ascendant, but still the marriage and the relationship part of it is very dry to an extent the person feels suffocated. So this transit of Venus in Virgo, relationship wise, it will not feel great. And it though this is a month of Diwali, it's a month of celebration. And you know what, Venus in Virgo gives that monetary boost to go for tangible things. So as we are seeing that consumerization has grown to a very high level, though Saturn in Pisces will little bit curb it, but still it is there. And that is why people in this transit of Venus, they will pamper themselves with getting better gifts and earning gifts for themselves, giving themselves things which are costly, so that they feel great, because that is the earthy Venus in debilitation. Debilitation means that you are going for tangible things, as the finer qualities like love, like trust, which is all about Pisces, where Venus gets exalted, that is going amiss. So anyway, it's that is how it is for a nearly 1 month transit of Venus. Let's see how the ascendants, different ascendants, what is in store for them, and how this transit. Because after that, Venus goes into its own Mool Trikon. It's a very different thing. Venus and Jupiter always very different. Jupiter comes into its own Mool Trikon, Sagittarius, then gets debilitated. Venus first gets debilitated and then goes into its Mool Trikon. Anyways, so let's see what it has for all the ascendants. For the Aries ascendant, Aries Venus is your second and seventh lord, and in the sixth house, aspected by Saturn from the 12th house. Obviously, this placement of Venus is not good for your financial and marriage part. Why? Because see, in the sixth house, you can engage in getting some betterment with the colleagues of yours or their daily life or wherever you're working. That can be good, and you will try to make it good if you're running a dasha, a pratyanta dasha. Because these kind of small transits, they get very vivid result in the pratyanta dasha. But here your spouse health, even your own health, Venus related thyroids and hormonal things and all this, if you're a female watching this, these things, if you have a problem, can surface again. And obviously Saturn is aspecting this Venus from the 12th house, will give some that take away the sheen of the Venus, the nice feeling about the seventh house and the second house matters. Finances can feel tight. You can feel that you are spending more than what you are earning, and that kind of a transit this is, because it has an exalted aspect on the 12th house where Saturn is. So the please be aware of your expenses, because this is a month of festivity again, and a lot of expenses can take away, at the end of the day you feel that you have spent more than you could. This month, though Mars is in Libra, so one thing is that, I mean, towards the end of the month only Mars changes to Scorpio. So especially the time, the last week of October, when Venus is in Virgo and Mars goes to Scorpio. At this point of time, because the 6th and the 8th both are active, so it is the 1st and the 7th lord. Be very careful if you are having any relationship issues at this point of time, if you are going for marriage or something at this point of, because November months many people do have marriage coming, and this is just the before of it. So be very careful with the relationships are very fragile, because when Venus is debilitated, it looks for tangible things, monetary things, that you can feel the love, because the naturally the relationship is not at a very ripe and nice stage. So that's why this kind of Venus can create misunderstandings. Give and take policies can be too much. If you have laws and litigations going on, you may have to pay money for that. So look out for, if you are taking a loan, please be very careful while taking a loan, because any good planet in the 6th house, they try to give more than actually required, though Saturn is trimming down from the 12th house these effects. So this Saturn Venus combination, and then Mars goes into Scorpio, it's a very different time for you. Though Venus will go into Libra in the month of November, but still Aries, you have to be very careful, as the Lagna Lord goes into the 8th house and the 7th Lord is still in the 6th house. Health related issues, monetary things, you going for a transformation, your relationships taking a toll, all these things, not a very easy month, definitely. Though the festivities are there, it is not an easy month, that is very, very true. So take care of that. Taurus ascendant, Taurus, for you, Venus, your Lagna Lord, is coming into the 5th house. This is a good transit of Venus for you. Venus will give you good intelligence. The 5th house, house of intelligence, house of earning some name, maybe you want more, your satisfaction level is not reached, that is a different thing. But here Venus is good. Here the monetary thing, the extra gains, Saturn in the 11th, but Venus is also aspecting that, but you can get some extra gains definitely in this month, in the month of festivity. Only problem is your relationship area. You will, because the fifth house is also love matters and progeny children, you can feel that you are not getting the kind of touch that you actually want from your relationship. That is a thing actually. So that you have to understand that this Venus is not capable of giving you. And for that matter, your Lagna Lord now will, from this debilitation point, will go into the sixth house, then seventh house. Most of the transits of Venus now onwards is, after this transit, is not very great for relationship matters. So understandingly you have to navigate the path, because over here your education can be good. Fifth house Venus can give you name, some kind of a promotion if you're wanting some kind of a, heightened this thing in studies, some certificates, some good knowledge. Your way of understanding things will be great. Your intelligence will be working very aptly. All these things are fine, barring the fact that your relationship with your counterpart, with your children, with love affairs, all these things will feel very dimmed, and it will not have the essence of what you really want it to. So that is the only glitch over here. Otherwise, health wise also it should be okay. The thing is that Mars is still in Libra in the sixth house. Expenses can also be a little high, because we cannot just see one transit. Venus is in fifth, which can give you, it is looking towards the Lav Sthana. It can give you more profits, definitely. Saturn is also there. But because Mars is in the sixth house, some unnecessary expenses also can happen. So you see, there are two conditions over here. The seventh Lord is in the sixth house, and the Lagna Lord is in the fifth house debilitated. So you have to understand and you have to go through this process. Otherwise, all the factors are good, barring the mainly the relationship with partners, with wife and husband, with family member, I mean with progeny. All these things you have to understand, and your health also, because Mars is in the sixth house. It is your 12th lord. It is your 12th lord and the 7th lord. It is not a good planet, so it is sitting in the house of Venus. You have to be very careful with your health. And Mercury is also with Mars. Now it will continue a conjunction with Mars, so that is also your 5th lord, so all this is showing, no, that the relationship part, the kind of give and take you want from your own people is not too much happening the right way. So keep a check on that, Taurus. Otherwise, this is a good transit. Gemini ascendants, for Gemini, Venus is in the fourth house, debilitated. Over here, there is, Jupiter is still in the 12th house, and it is, it is on your Lagna and coming into the second house. So here, the Venus is also the 12th Lord. That is what I was going to say. So Venus is also the 12th Lord coming into your fourth house, and it is also the 5th Lord. Here, it is all material pleasures. Fourth house Venus is good, and in debilitation, it can push you to buy new things for your interior decoration of the house. You can sell or buy a car if you want. All materialistic, tangible things. Venus in Virgo is debilitated, aspected by Saturn. Keep a check on what you're buying, how you're buying. If you're taking a loan for a house or a car or whatever, be careful with it, no doubt about that. But then Venus in debilitation gives luxury. That is very true. And here you can spend your money you will feel good with your family members also. But this love is not the Venus in Pisces kind of a thing. It is a more money oriented thing. Here monetary factor is very high when Venus is in earthy sign. Earthy means money, right? It denotes that. So you spend money on your home, on your own people, you can do that. All these things are very much possible. So it is aspecting the 10th house. Saturn is already there. So your fifth lord aspecting the 10th house can give some betterment, but competition is also there. Because see, it is not Mars is now in the fifth house. Let Mars and Mercury, your Lagna Lord, come into the sixth house. Then the competition, you will be able to make a mark over there. I can say. And so that's why this house of Venus, you may want to study, you may have a good education at this point of time. You can try for competitive examinations. All these things are good, but it is not very strong to give you important results. Over here Venus is a luxury oriented, comfort oriented Venus. Fourth house Venus, you stay in your house, you do work from home, you decorate your home, you lead a luxurious house. That is a fourth house Venus, because Venus is Digbala also in the fourth house, and debilitation is earthy sign. You trying to find comfort. Comfort through what? Through spending money, because this is the 12th lord coming into the fourth house, and Saturn is also your 8th and ninth lord aspecting this Venus. Sudden changes in your house, or new house, or something newness. If you're running a Venus dasha, these things can very much happen. Very much it can happen, because Mars is in the sign of Venus in Libra, in your fifth house, aspecting the 11th house. Gains can also happen, but then to spend also. So nonetheless, it's not a bad transit for you. It is not bad, but it is not a very rock solid transit to give you very prominent results. That you have to wait for Venus coming into Libra and aspected by Rahu. Then you get some prominent results. Over here in the month of October, you're more in a spending and decorative and aram, living in peace kind of a mode. I mean, living in a very nice comfort zone. So enjoy this transit. Cancer ascendants, Cancer people, Venus is in the third house. Now third house Venus, when Mars is in the fourth house, it is the 11th lord in the third house. So you can go for, due to your networking, you can go for travel. You can start something if you want at this point of time, any startups. Because 11th lord is a lord of expansion. Now when it is coming into the third house, your daily affairs you are spending money on. Fourth lord also, so you can sell a vehicle also, you can change a house also. And because Mars is there in the fourth house, it may happen, and the fourth lord is in the third, it may happen that you are changing a house due to transfer, profession, or anything, because Jupiter is still in the 12th house for Cancer ascendants. One thing is that you can meet up somebody online if you're running that kind of a dasham. Third house Venus, it gives online good conversation, but because it is debilitated, understand, it is looking for more monetary things and tangible things. Rather, it is giving you the pleasure of the heart and the mind and the soul. Third house Venus is not capable of doing that. It is a very desirous Venus. Desirous of what? Everyday luxuries. That is third house. So here you can spend money on that also. Suppose third house is what? Your communication. You suddenly buy a very lavish mobile phone. That can happen. Anything which is a third house related, which is your short term goals, short term trips, because this is a festive season also. That can also happen if you're running a Venus Antardasha or Pratyantar. You can spend on these things. buying something which is of necessary everyday use, going for a trip which you spend money on, anything which is, because third house is the desire house, first of the desire house, and it gives small small desires like everyday related things. So here spending is also seen in that way, because the 11th lord coming in the third, it is you desire something, you desire a trip, a mobile, a TV, or whatever, daily life things, you can buy it. So, and Venus in earthy sign, it is money oriented. Here we are not talking about the customary Venus of Pisces and the the classiness, the that is missing in Virgo Venus. Virgo Venus is all about earning money, spending money, and at the end of the day feeling a little empty also, because after the spending also, it does not stay for you very long, because we know that is how tangible things are. So it is a okay transit, not I cannot say it's a great transit, because aspected by Saturn also from the ninth house. So if your plans, suppose your one thing is that, suppose you're trying to buy a house, you can spend more, that can also happen. Jupiter is aspecting the sixth house, you can take a loan which is more, so be a little wary of what you're doing, because Mars is in the fourth house and very strong, it's a good position of Mars. Not talking about the internal conflicts of the house, but the outside factors. If you are having some job change, if you're going for a loan, if you're buying a real estate, what things you are spending in your new home, so that it looks very, you look very comfortable and you feel comfortable. So please look out on the spending front, because 11th lord, again when it goes into the third, it is more on the desire getting neutralized by the third house. So here third house is not the house of earning, it is you're fulfilling your daily desires. So when we try to fulfill it by a debilitated Venus, we try to spend more. That is the thing. That is one thing. Here it is not very good for education or competitive things. Yeah, it is good for if you're doing a short course on any finances or anything. It is good for that. Let the Venus come into the fourth house and aspected by Rahu. Some important event in your fourth house things will happen, and Mars will also come into the fifth house. We have to wait for Cancer ascendants till November. November, Venus will be own house, Mars own house, Jupiter on the Lagna. Some kind of important event is destined, so that I'll talk about when Venus comes in Libra. But as of now, hold your horses, enjoy your time, because Venus wants that merrymaking in the third house. That is okay, it's a festivity time, but please do not overspend or overindulge in your daily life. That is the thing. For Leo ascendants, Venus is in the second house. Second house Venus is good. Your 10th and 3rd lord, you are putting, your speech will be very good, and you will be able to convince people by speaking very nicely. You will earn money definitely. Artha Trikon, second house Venus gives money, no doubt about that. You will earn money, and those money, now whether you will be able to save it or not, because Saturn is in the 8th house, that you have to look. Because see, debilitated Venus, it has to satisfy itself. It wants to earn money and spend the money also. So earning is good, earning is coming. Jupiter is also in the 11th for a long time, and Mars is also in the 3rd house. You're putting the effort, whatever needs to be done. But then debilitated Venus wants the luxury item which is touchable and tangible. So when you go for such things, you can spend much. This I have seen for myself also. And then it happens that you feel the saving is not enough. That can very well happen, because even see, Saturn is sitting in the Rashi, which is Pisces, is about expenses. So expenses can always happen with second Venus for family affairs, for a nice thing. It is, the placement is good, because it is debilitated, it is unable to hold on, to hold on to that. Or the feeling is still, after doing all these things, after getting debilitated Venus cannot give the feeling of a very uplifted feeling like Pisces Venus. Yes, it is not easy. Pisces Venus is not easy. Here it is easily slipping out of your hand, Virgo Venus. So Venus debilitation, it is not bad, but the resources come, still you do not feel very happy with that. That is the problem with Venus going into debilitation, because Venus is the happiness quotient. That is very important in one's horoscope. How much we have, whether we are happy with that, that is the mark of a debilitated Venus. Not that it denies things, it gives, but the happiness does not come with it. But for you, the transit is good. Transit has no problem. Third house Mars is good, second house Venus is good. Later also Mars goes into fourth house and Venus third house, that is also good. So this is good. But expenses are the only thing, because Jupiter will also go to the 12th. Venus is in the second own house, second and 12th, earning and spending, both is happening. And also Saturn in the 8th house, Pisces, is kharche ka rashi, expenses. So you have to trim down on that. That is the thing. Your speech will be good, your thinking process will be good. People will not be able to cut you in your speeches. You will speak absolutely what you want to, and in a very dignified way. So this transit is good for you. Take care of the health factor, because Sun is now at this time, when Sun is also in Virgo and Sun is opposite to Saturn, you have to take great care when Sun goes into Libra also, because it will be Shadashtak to Saturn and debilitated in Libra. So here also the health part has to be taken very carefully, Leo Lagnas, because Sun is not in a very good condition at this point of time. It is opposite Saturn, then it is going into debilitation in 6-8 to Saturn, and Venus in the second. You eat something sometimes, because Venus is foodie, it loves good food, spicy food, or if you have already realized you need to go for a regime, this is the time you can put a regime to your food habits with debilitated Venus. Venus doesn't become happy eating the things which is very healthy and all, but you can go for that regime in this debilitated Venus. Start with it, then you will be able to follow up the process. For Virgo, the transit of Venus is happening on the Lagna. So, ninth lord on the Lagna, that is a good transit for you, and the second lord also. So, here this is also a very money oriented transit, and you will be able to, garner that money, and it will be like your earnings will be good, and bhagya also, your fortune will also favor you in some way or the other. And Mercury is with Mars when Venus is on the Lagna. Mercury is with Mars in the second house in Libra. Now second lord, obviously Lagna lord going into the second house, yes, for you Mars is not a very good planet, but this is an exchange of Mercury and Venus. It is a good transit aspected by Saturn, because many Virgo people are having 7th Saturn and going for a relationship, marriage, or all these things. You have to be very careful at this point of time, because your expectations may not be reached to the point that you want it to. That is the only problem with a debilitated Venus on the Lagna aspected by Saturn, because Venus over here, in spite, because it is not feeling very good. What is the good factor of Venus? It being feeling in a very nice, comfortable, peaceful, love kind of a state. That it is not feeling, because Virgo is a critical Rashi, and you can be judged. Your relationship can be judged. That is the thing. You have to be very careful over here. It will, you may get a very good some kind of a gift. You can buy for yourself. You can do that. All these things is to promote the goodness in you, the wellness in you. But you will not be totally getting that. That is for sure, because Saturn is aspecting this debilitated Venus also. So don't be too critical, don't be too judgmental with your things, keep a sound health, try to have some kind of a, because this is just a transit of 1 month. Yes, Saturn, when it aspects Lagna, it gives, when it aspects Virgo, you may criticize yourself only. That is also a thing. You may bring all the negativity in yourself, rather than people talking about it. But here, the situation of Venus is not very bad. It will give you material, tangible things, monetary things, profits. That it will be, it is capable of giving. But whether you feel happy with this, because Venus is the quotient of happiness in the horoscope. Happiness, coincidentally, in the month of festivity of Diwali, it is not very much prevalent this Diwali, because debilitated Venus gives the material part of it. It cannot give you the happiness that we need, the internal happiness. So whatever you are dealing with now, especially if you are dealing with career changes and jobs, you have to be practical. You have to be, if you are asking for a salary hike and all, this is good. But if you are having a relationship issue, you have to wait, and do not be in a rush, because Venus has just come from your, by the 9th of October it will be reaching your Lagna in conjunction with Ketu. Many people have already felt some kind of a, down surge in relationship. Already I'm getting that kind of a feedback from people. So you have to be still more patient with this debilitated Venus aspected by, see, it's from the fire, what do you call, from the frying fire to the frying pan, that kind of a situation, with Ketu in the 12th house, and then in the debilitation Lagna aspected by Saturn. We do not like these conditions for Venus. You have to be careful, and you have to pave your path in a slow way now, with lot of patience. Though Venus gives patience in Virgo, because Virgo is a patience related sign. Virgo people are critical, but they are patient. So no doubt about that. So not a bad transit, just your expectations may not be reached up to that level. Bear with that. Venus will go into Libra. We'll talk about that later. Libra ascendant. Libra ascendant, Venus is in the 12th house transit and debilitation. Now, for health perspective, this is not at all a good transit. Aspected by Saturn, already you may not feel very great about your health, because Saturn in the 6th house give different kind of, health, chronic issues in the health. That is the main problem, Saturn in the 6th house. And work can also pile up, and sleepless nights, and this is not at all transit that you want, Libra, because Mars is on the Lagna. By the time Mars, then slowly will Mars last week go into Scorpio, second house, your money house. But Lagna Lord, as of now, in the with Ketu, then in the second house coming into in the 12th house coming into debilitation, you may have to spend some money for yourself, and that also not for very great cause, like maybe hospitals, maybe somewhere like that. So that can happen with this Venus debilitation in the 12th house. This 1 month from 9th of October to 2nd of November, the most affected sign is Libra, own sign of Venus. Not only because Venus is in debilitation, it will make you spend money for some cause which you don't want to, because Saturn is also in the 6th house aspecting this Venus. This is the 4th and the 5th lord in the 6th house. So already you are not feeling that great. Now the Lagna lord also goes into the 12th house. So whenever this 6-12 axis is active, you have to be very careful with your health, with your spendings, where you're going, if you're going for a pilgrimage or anything, if you're going for any visits also, because this is a festive sign. This time many people are going for vacations and all. You have to be very careful there also with your health. So all these things one has to consider in this 1 month, nearly 1 month of debilitation Venus. So you are the most affected sign. Please take care of these things and do not be in a rush. Just let 2nd November, till from today onwards only, you practice, and let 2nd of November pass. Let Venus come into Libra. You can face some humiliation also at this point of time. Lagna Lord in the 12th house. Now, don't tell me the story of, that Venus is a friend of Saturn and all these things. No, Saturn does not even leave its own sign. Wow, that is why it's a judge, right? A judge cannot be biased, whether it's friend or not. You will get some, what you call a backfire in some area, because Mars is also on the Lagna. It is there on the Lagna. It is your Marak. It is the seventh lord, right? It is on the Lagna. It is also giving you some impediments. It is pushing you more towards your things. Now Jupiter will come into exaltation. You'll face more competition in the 10th house area. At this point, Libra, your horoscope, sorry to say, is not looking very great actually. Though Mars on the Lagna gives that gusto, but that is why don't be in a rush. You can fall down and you can get yourself hurt, as simple as that, and you can have to go to the hospital for anything. So be very careful this 1 month, and when Venus comes into Libra, we'll talk about that later. Take care. uh, Scorpio Venus is in the 11th house in debilitation. 11th house Venus is good for monetary matters. Again, 2nd and 11th house Venus debilitated. See, these are desire fulfillment house. 11th house, we are not talking about anything very spiritual and all. It is a house of desire fulfillment. It needs materialistic things. That is what desire is. Like you can get some name, fame, you can get money. Saturn is aspecting it, so obviously you had been waiting for it for a very long time. It can slowly come out. It can bestow you those things now. It is your seventh lord and the 12th lord. Now only problem over here is that when 12th lord come into the 11th house, already your expenses is ready to be met. That is the only issue. You are waiting for the money, but the expenses are also waiting for you to be made. Otherwise, it's a good transit. If you can meet also somebody during this time, because Venus is aspecting the 5th house. So if you're having that kind of a dasha, you can meet somebody, but it is a wealthy kind of a situation. It is, don't go for when you meet somebody. See, when you meet somebody in Venus debilitation, it's a very practical oriented transit that is happening. It's an earthy sign. People are going for the status. It is not about something which is very out of the world and in a very great, peaceful and spiritually lifted condition. No, not like that. But then it's not bad. Everything we cannot judge it in that way. Spirituality, as horoscope must have it. This is also a Venus which gives you money, your gains, your money, your luxury, your tangible things. These things are 11th house Venus. So that is the thing. It's a good transit for you. I will not keep on going, because only thing is that Mars is in the 12th house, so some expenses can also happen to you. Let Mars come into Scorpio. This is important for your full understanding aspected by Jupiter. That happens later this month, because then Venus again will go to the 12th house and some expenses will be waiting for there. Again, some luxury item, if you are running through a Venus, foreign destinations, going out to different countries. Libra Venus in the 12th house gives all this. But now it is the time of accumulation. Think about your expenses. Think how you can control it. This is a transit of that, and your partner can be helpful. Through partner also you can gain something, because 7th lord in the 11th is that. That can very well happen in this transit of Venus. And 12th lord in the 11th, some desire related to 12th house, some expenses related to 12th house that you are looking for, you may fulfill at this point of time. So it's a good transit for Scorpio. You have to be judgmental how you are spending money, whatever hard earned money you are getting. That is the only crux of this story of Venus debilitation in the 11th house. Sagittarius, it is the 10th house Venus in debilitation, your 6th lord and the 11th lord. Now here Venus is aspected by Saturn also. Some changes in the, you can get a job that this Venus is capable of giving you, and because later also it will go into Libra, it will give it is capable of, the transit is good. But yes, debilitated means here, because see, I don't find Venus very suitable in the 10th house. It is, it is a planet which is not meant for 10th house matters competition. You may be helping others in the official area if you're not looking for, but you may not get the kind of help that you are giving. This is also a 10th house Venus. This I have seen again and again. The 10th house Venus, they are givers, they can give, they are capable of. In the natal horoscope they will give a lot, but when it comes into transit also, maybe you are providing to your profession more than what you're getting out of it. That's the thing. But something you will get out of it, because it is debilitated means it's a earthy sign Venus. It is capable of giving tangible things. So a new job, a new position can happen. Some impediments can be there because the 6th lord in the 10th house, some competition can be there in the area. You can feel a little disturbed if you go for a new area of job, a new niche you have to find out. You can find a little competition going on over there. But your this Mars and Mercury is in the 11th house. Mars in Libra aspecting the 5th house will give you good understanding. So this transit of Venus is overall good. 60 to 70% it is good, but you can find competition. You can find that the way you had wanted things to pan out maybe exactly not that way, but you will get betterment with this 10th Venus. You may help others, you will have the courage to help others, and all these things. And also you get some material benefits out of this transit of Venus in the 10th house in Virgo. So because it is your 11th lord also, so your desires, where it is coming to the 10th house, it is getting fulfilled. Some impediments because it is the 6th lord also. Then the Venus goes into the 11th house in the month of November, a much more better transit than this. But again Mars goes into the 12th house. So some or the other, that is how we have to mitigate every we go through every transits in that way. Sun will be in your 11th house now. Slowly it will go to Libra after this month, mid of this month. So like that. So it is 9th lord going into the 11th house. That is good. You get gains something, and this Venus also going into the 10th house gives you some betterment in the 10th house area. It is a good transit. Overall it's okay, it is okay. But obviously because Saturn is in the 4th house aspecting this Venus, Venus is also aspecting Saturn, you may do more for your family members than they can for you. You may spend more on them. That can also happen because it's an exalted drishti of Venus in the 4th house, and Venus loves the 4th house and the exaltation. You can spend more at the home front, but maybe the family members, because Saturn is there, may not be able to give you back in the way that you give. So these are the plus and minuses of this transit, but overall it's a good transit. Yeah. Capricorn ascendants, Venus in Virgo in the 9th house. 9th house Venus is good for your pilgrimages with the father. The health of the father you may take care, maybe going through some challenges at this point of time. So your at least your 5th lord has coming out of the 6th house, in conjunction with Ketu. Nothing can be better than that. Venus in the 8th house, the 5th lord in the 8th house, as I'm making this video, and in conjunction with Ketu is horribly wrong. So now Venus is at least coming out of that 8th house and into the 9th house. It is a good transit, not a very great. You'll have that Venus in Libra aspected by Rahu later. That is even better than this. Then also Venus in Scorpio. But Venus in Virgo will give you some good things definitely out of your fortune. You will be able to give some good things with your higher, your father, your bosses. You go for pilgrimage, you go for higher learning, if you are moving somewhere, because Mars is also in the 10th house, so you can go for a shift also, it may happen, or you may need to travel for work. That can also happen. Anyway, ninth house Venus, the fifth lord coming into the ninth house, the 10th lord coming into the ninth house, your progeny can also go for a travel. That can also happen. Long distance places, that is very good in that way. So the fifth lord coming into the ninth house is very good, and aspected by your lagna lord Saturn. So the decisions that you're making at this point of time, because it is the third and the ninth house which is active, so Lagna Lord aspecting this Venus, the Lagna Lord and the fifth Lord are in mutual aspect with each other, or the Lagna and the 10th Lord. It gives a kind of a practical bonding with your love, with your progeny, because fifth house is also love affairs. So you strike a good relationship. Practically good, practically, this is debilitated Venus. We are not talking about the great love in Venus in Pisces, or it is not that kind of a Venus that we are talking. So here you will feel that you are practically able to understand what your love life needs, what your progeny needs, how you carry on with your relationship. And that is the learning of debilitated Venus over here. You cannot judge. The problem with debilitated Venus is that it judges. You must not judge in this transit. It is a good ninth house transit. Venus is good in the ninth house. It gives some dedication to the higher power also, to spirituality also, visiting spiritual places. All these things will be good at this point of time. So it's a nice transit. It's a nice transit, no worry about that. Sun was also in the 8th house, 8th lord in the ninth house, sorry. Then now Sun will go into the 10th house, and there will be some kind of change in your professional area, because Sun will enter Libra. Mars, more or less, it will be leaving Libra at this point of time, but some kind of change is expected in your 10th house area, because Mars now will go into its own sign Scorpio. That will happen later. But all these things require some judgment and some calculative mind and some understanding, which Venus will be able to give you in the ninth house, as it is aspecting the third house, its exalted aspect, and where Saturn is there. So it is not just emotional based decisions that you'll be making. You'll be making practical decisions also in this transit, and it is a good transit, no doubt about that. Later Venus will come into the 10th house. It is even better a transit to have. The 10th lord in the 10th, 11th lord in the 11th. That is in the month of November. We are waiting for that transit for Capricorn, but as of now it is a good transit. It's a relief for you when Venus comes out of the 8th house to the 9th house. Take care. Aquarius Venus is in debilitation in the 8th house. 8th house debilitated Venus, it is not a great transit that is happening. This month from 9th of October to 2nd of November, it is not a very great thing. Saturn, your Lagna Lord, is in the second aspecting this Venus. You can have some, problems with your health also. It can very much happen. Your mother's health, your wife's health, whatever these things can happen with this transit. A sudden change in health, or you have to change your regime in health. Something, because Saturn in the second will be aspecting this Venus, and suddenly it will bring out things. Venus has its hormonal these things, and also kidneys and all these, the reproductive system, all these things, the PCODs, it can suddenly give you that kind of a check in this transit of Venus, because Bhagya is not too much in favor of you at this moment of time. Though Mercury, the fifth lord, is in Libra now, then it will go to Scorpio. So the fifth lord is also in a it is in Libra now, but it will very fast go into Scorpio with Mars in the 10th house. So that is a different thing, that is job oriented and all this. But at this point of time, things may feel a little stuck as your Agami Karam, that is your ninth house lord, has come into full debilitation in the 8th house. See, Venus in debilitation can give money and materialistic tangible things, but the problem with this Venus is that in the 8th house and aspected by Saturn, which is delaying the things. So you have to wait for the month of November, which is very important at this point of time. October month, yes, it is a festivity month, you can spend also during this time. 8th house, sudden, you can feel like going for a overhaul. 8th house are all sudden surges that we have, sudden things, something different in your home environment. See, if you make planning for traveling now, it can fail because Mars is also not very good with Mercury in the ninth house. Let Mars comes into the 10th house, because for you October month is not giving very good vibes, to be very true. And Saturn is also retrograde, so you can again have to do the thing. All these things can happen at this point of time. Competitive exams or anything, you're not getting too much of luck at this point of time. You have to wait for Shukra to come in the ninth house. Venus coming into the ninth house and Mars going into the 10th house will give you much relief in the month of November, but not now. Be cautious now with your mother's health, with your wife's health, with your own health, with any kind of up and down you see in the health area, in the money area. Be very cautious, because Saturn, however it is your Lagna lord, but Saturn is a judge, right? When it is seeing the 8th house, it can give sudden changes regarding that area. Retrograde will always give sudden results. So if you are running that kind of a dasha antardasha also, you have to be a little careful in this kind of a transit. Not a great transit obviously, Aquarius, but that is how it is. The next month will be much more charged up for you and giving you good vibes. So please wait for that. Let this month till 2nd of November go. Lie a little low, do your festivity things, whatever you're supposed to do. If you are going for exams and job interviews and all these things, also keep on going. Maybe this will be on hold at this moment, you don't get a result, but that doesn't mean you'll reject things. It will come up in the month of November. So you do your thing, you keep on doing your thing. The things will give you result when the dasha, when the transit, obviously dasha is important, the first thing, when the transit changes. Take good care. Pisces ascendant, Pisces, this is 7th house Venus. 7th house Venus can give some, because it is the 8th lord in the 7th house. First and foremost, it can give some issues with your spouse. That can be money related issue also, the health of your spouse also. The third lord in the 7th house, you may get some, you are already desiring something from the 7th house, the efforts are going there. But understand one thing, Venus originally 7th house is Libra and Venus holds this house, but for you it is Virgo and debilitated Venus. Over here the luxury is given. What is not given is the peace of the mind, the goodness. That is what Venus is in Pisces. Pisces Venus is not that they will have extraordinary money and something. They may have, they may, but not always. I have seen Pisces Venus are more satiated person than getting extraordinary money. But Venus in Virgo is the opposite. They have everything, they have a lot of luxury, because Virgo is a earthy sign. Venus gives all the good things over here. Good things means materialistically, but the person is not satisfied. Same case for you over here in the 7th house. You can feel the same problem, that maybe you are having a relationship, you are going through it, or you want to get married or something like that, but Saturn is on the Lagna. At this point, understand, nothing can satisfy you. It's very difficult. When Saturn is on the Lagna, it is making a transit through your Lagna. You will judge thing, you will criticize thing, you will judge yourself. Let go other people. So happiness is not a thing that can be judged and found. It is a okay transit if you can take it well. Mars is in the 8th house and it is aspecting its own sign at this point of time. So, money is okay, the money should flow. You can get opportunities also to make money, that is also there. This particular transit of Venus is not very highly good for you, though it is having an exalted drishti on the Lagna, but Saturn is there. Now, Jupiter, meantime, will also come into the 5th house and have an aspect on the Lagna. So, everything now boils down to you. Saturn is on the Lagna and Jupiter will come in the 5th aspect the Lagna, and also Venus is also aspecting the Lagna till 2nd of November. So definitely some sudden events, sudden opportunities, sudden luxury things, some competitive things comes into perspective. Though at this point, because the sixth lord is in the 8th house, you can go for a competition in an exam, any these kind of official things and all. It can happen that your competitors may not be able to this thing, not be able to stand very highly with you, but still it can, because Saturn on the Lagna brings a sudden criticism, sudden. Maybe you're doing the hard work, and I'm sure you're doing the hard work. Saturn will make you do it. Please ignore the judgmental part of Saturn and keep on the hard work, because this Venus at least gives a change to your Lagna. You will be able to understand certain things in this transit, because it's the 8th lord. Wherever it goes, it brings some transformation over here. And if you're running a Antardasha or Pratyantardasha of Venus, 100% it will make you realize something. And Jupiter also coming into your 5th house of intelligence. So it is a point of realization, how to handle your money, how to handle, because Venus is finances, how to get on if you want to embark on earning something. That also it can give you the knowledge of, and you will be able to go towards that. And partnerships also, how to deal with partnership, how to not to judge. Take care of your health and also your partner's health. This is very important, because this sometimes Venus, because it is the 8th lord coming into the 7th house, can give a jerk to your health a little bit. You have to go for a different regime and all these things. So overall, it's not a bad transit. It is good. It is making lot of changes and making you are coming to understanding lot of things, Pisces. That is important. But because certain things are in a way that 8th lord gives a change which is sudden, and it is debilitated in the 7th house. Especially the relationship part of your life should be taken very good care. Otherwise, this transit of Jupiter now coming into your 5th house is a really good transit. It does not happen every time. You can get better opportunities in life. Your progeny can do well. You can get sudden name, fame. Again it will be repeated. This is just Jupiter coming, Lagna Lord coming into 5th for 1.5 months. So that is how this transit is. It is an okay transit, not very great, not very bad also. Take care of your health, because Saturn is there on the Lagna as a pressure cooker. So this was the transit of Venus in Virgo, guys. Later I'll come up again with a video next week. Let's see what it can be. Till then, take good care.